Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of The Conversation Capital with myself, the host, Ursula Mariani, and our voice, perhaps face of reason.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
That's too much pressure. That's too much pressure.
You're being set up.
We love having you on camera. The audience loves having you on camera, and you look absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you, Kaz.
Oh.
2020, give back 2025.
2025.
We're working on appearance.
I'm telling you, because Bonga, every time she posts on WhatsApp lately, even when she's going to work, I'm like, I already say if I'm saying tell us if there is a boyfriend there at the workplace, because what a wow.
No, guys,
You're
in
looking
my defense, I'm
stunning.
just generally, I had a baby. There's just a lot that's been happening. And
Yeah.
I think I not let go, but I just relaxed a bit.
Yeah.
I had those times, of course, where
Yes.
but I just want to be more intentional about being put together, because I feel like how we present ourselves into the world, it's
Absolutely.
important
Tom
to
Ford
me.
says looking good is a form of good manners.
Yes.
Well, he says dressing well, but yeah, I think that's the
Yes,
point.
and I'm not saying I'll be like over the top. I'm just saying there's a bit more intentionality
Yes.
this year.
And I remember 3 months ago when your baby turned 2, you said, I feel like I can finally pick my head up.
Yes.
Yeah, you like, I feel like the veil of like postpartum is finally like being lifted from me.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and we can see the veil is lifted.
Yo, I don't like
Kevin.
Ishla, guys.
Hi Kevin, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
I am awesome, thank you. How's this hour?
I was doing great.
Is she growing?
Yeah. She's growing. We're busy looking at schools that she'll be going to, although she's not yet ready.
Yes.
But I've been hearing Guti the lines.
So reflections, guys. What are some of the reflections that we have? What reflections do you have?
My reflection is just, if you are going through a good time, you're having fun on earth, embrace that time. I feel like so much sad stuff, or like we have dips, right? So much so that when we are going through our happy times, we don't like go full in, because it's coming.
I love this.
It's coming.
Yeah.
I remember one of my friends, we were talking about this type of thing. I'm having such a good time, and you're like, yo, that means whatever is coming is going to be big in terms of the dip.
Or when we're going through a dip, we're like, in terms of the good, like we come up with these theories.
So just enjoy and embrace when you're going through a good time, and savor that time. And then second reflection is just remembering these good times, and keeping them in like the back of your mind, like being very intentional about remembering, I did this, oh, I had this that is good for me this year. Why I say this, a conversation with my mother was saying to me, we were having a good time as a family, like just a lot of good stuff were happening to us as a family. And she was like to me, I wish there was a drawer that I had with all like the good stuff that are happening to us currently. Keep them in, so that when the bad stuff happens, I can go in there to remind myself of, wow, I've had a good time, and it's likely going to be a good time again one day. This is just a season of sorts, And then, so just to bank those things. And we actually can create some jar. You know how people create jars for like, I love you, a gift, maybe as a gift to you, all the things I love about you. Maybe we should be more intentional about recording those good times to reflect back on when we're going through bad times, because I feel like we accentuate, or they become so big, these horrible times, that we forget we've had really good times.
And also, like you're saying, because these things, duality, right? These things happen at the same time.
Yeah.
And we can get caught up in focusing on the bad that's happening, even though it's alongside some. Because all the time when you ask something, they're like, oh, I just got a promotion, but actually I'm struggling, the baby's currently sick, and and somehow if you're not careful, you can. So having that good times jar can help, can almost force you. It's almost like I've shared it many times, the gratitude journaling. You can get it on Take a Lot. Gratitude journaling forces you to say what was good about today. And that allows you to like pause, and like you better find it, whether it was the smell of roses, baby, like find something that brings joy to your day, because it can't be all bad. I know that sounds like, you don't know what I'm going through, but it can't be all bad. If you really take a moment, there's something good that's happening.
I hate stuff like motivational speaking, etc. Only because like I feel like they're very aloof, right? But stuff like just having breath in your lungs, being alive, being able, one time we were talking about the joy of health, being able to be physically active physically well, you know, stuff like that. You don't look at nje on an average day, you know. And probably I'm saying this because I'm having a good time, so it's easy on me to reflect that on those things. But I think even stuff as small as that, you know, health, family, friends, wonderful people around you,
you know, those are things that it's important to consider.
and we really forget about them.
Because I think we're hardwired to, you know, solve problems sometimes.
And we also think all of these things are natural. Like I should have a family, I should have good friends, I should, you know, like when we think they are all part of a natural life, when there are people who can quote and say, no, I don't have those things, so much so we forget to take bank of them.
I wish I could sing, because right now I feel like singing that song. Nobody told me the road, because that's what it points towards, right? Like nobody guaranteed you that the road would be easy. Why is that? Why do we feel like when it's easy, that's the default? Like this is how it's supposed to be. Nobody promised us that. Ooh, damn. Maybe umam ruti wena with.
That's why Genzi Tuku and
Tell me, Given, what's your reflection?
So me, you know, there's something that frustrated me before I became a parent, ne? The fact that a lot of parents will say this thing, which you'll see when you're a parent. I hate that thing so much. And I kind of vowed to myself that I wouldn't do it to people. Once I was a parent, I wouldn't do it to people who, first of all, because it's as though there's nothing you could possibly say that could add value to their experience, right? And then another thing as well is parents, like, I don't know if you experience it from where you're at, Ursula, but like parents will always make it seem like kids are the worst thing ever. It's like, I remember at work, guys, I used to go out and buy clothes, right? Or they'd see take a lot box come in. We'll see when you have kids if these boxes are still coming here. You know what I mean? So anyways, I started off there, first of all, because I feel like that's something that for me, I really want to do differently and actually listen to people without kids, hear what advice they have, hear what books are they reading, and actually listen to them if I have a better perspective based on my experience, and then give that and say, well, based on what I've experienced, and do keep in mind that kids are different. This is what I've experienced, but maybe what you're saying can work for a different kind of child, you know? I find it to be so dismissive to just tell someone, Guti, you'll see when you get a child. You see what I mean? Yeah. And then, but anyways, I preface it with that to get to this thing of, you know, all of the things that people were saying about how difficult kids are, I'm learning are absolutely true.
Yeah.
Like, I'm learning they're absolutely true. And it feels, there's a post I once put up of a guy who, he's basically reacting to a girl in a podcast. She's actually what you're saying, Bonga. She's being grateful. And her reflection of being grateful, she's saying, you know what, every time I'm having a hard time, I always remember that there's someone who's going through the very same thing, but with kids.
The kid.
Right? Yeah. So I find myself reflecting on that quite a lot. Like, Uti, there's so many things like I wish I could be doing right now. Like even something as simple as just doting on my wife. It becomes so hard. Like, you know what I mean? But anyways, and in light of all of that, I'm having to remember that it's not my child who's the problem. Yes. It's not the kid that's the problem. Yes. It's the way that our system is structured. It's the way that we have to and we're forced to go to work 9 to 5. The fact that things are so expensive that you have to have 2 incomes to maintain one household. Yes. And there was a time when that wasn't a need. Yes. Right? And the fact that we live in a society right now where we own literally the only way to make money, or not the only, but the primary way, and by primary I mean by far, to make money in most of our societal contexts, right, is to go and find a job, work for an organization or a company in corporate, and that's how you make your money, as opposed to also having cows at home, and that also being something that contributes to the family wealth. Chickens at home, eggs at home. That's not as much of a norm anymore. And given, you know, there's so much I want to say with reference to what you're saying right now, but even just how to be closer to your workplace is not that type of life of having chickens, etc., is not sustainable, because now we're living in complexes. Yes. Why we want to be safe, because of the nature of our society where it's moving, the crime rates, etc. It's not, you're not
not gonna have a chicken coop in a complex, most likely, unless
Yes,
you know
exactly.
I'm just thinking the system, the structural setup of our society does not allow for those alternative. It does allow. I know there'll be people saying, no, you guys, what, you know.
Yeah,
but let's look
yeah.
at it in the sense that to be closer to your workplace, you will likely live in a complex, in a flat, in an estate. All of those things do not allow for that self-sustainable lifestyle.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
and given you're calling me out, because for me having a kid, I'm just like, if there's one thing, I have a close like work friend, her name is Mbali. She's about, I think, 25, and I'm like, the one thing, Mbali, take your time. And no conversation with ours will pass without me telling her to take her time with having a kid, because it's just the weight it is on me.
Yes.
And I had a similar conversation with one of my colleagues as well, to say capitalism is unnatural, or work is unnatural.
Very.
Because I'm looking at us all walk in. It's the start of the year. Our shoulders were like this. Like, guys, it's the beginning of the year. Like, and it's not to say these people don't love their jobs, or I don't love my jobs, but that's just the way of
I don't love
sustaining.
my jobs. Yeah. The sustainability
of our lifestyles requires this thing, you know. And we spend a lot of time, way more time in the workplace than we do with our families. And I noticed one of my colleague, the same colleague again, he was asking me, would you have a second child? And I'm like, no. Like, I'm at the point where I want to go tie my tubes, you know. And then, but I'm thinking, no, I'm not going to do it yet.
That's a big thing to say.
No, it's a very big thing. And I was saying to him that, to be honest, I don't think it's the kid that's the problem. It's the fact that I don't have enough time to be the type of mother that I know myself I can be. So should I meet someone who says, stay at home, I'll give you that salary, I'll make sure we'll build a business of sorts, or maybe just stay at home, and he's not going to scam me one day and say, hi, you don't work, or whatever, you know. Let's say it's an ideal circumstance.
You feel safe enough to stay at home.
I feel safe enough to rely on someone else.
There's a conversation you're bringing up there. Sorry, I just remember where you are,
yes.
But like the thing you're saying right now, I really feel like we should do an episode on that, even if we invite a lawyer who works with these types of contracts. But I really want to know, what does that look like in our current society? Because let's say my wife stays at home. There are men, guys, and I don't think we talk about this enough. There are men who have their wives stay at home and then literally put it in their will, Guti, 30% of everything I have that's just the base. I'm giving it to her. Even if I build a business, it belongs to her. By virtue of the fact that she's being at home and she's giving me the capacity to be able to just go out and, make that money. But anyways,
So I was thinking to myself,
I'm here like,
no, that's just the base.
Hey.
That's just the base. Also, remember, it doesn't mean that you can't work. It's just your work is going to be minimal and home based. Basically. Yes.
So I do see myself like, maybe should I be in a space where man says, listen, you don't need to go to work. Find out what you can do with your other time. Just be a mother. I think I may have a lot of kids in that context. It's just my reasoning is the unsustainability of the fact that I can't be the type of parent I want to be if I want to pursue my career and stuff like that.
I love what you're saying.
So I realized in conversation with him, my premise of not having more kids is on the fact that I can't be the mother that I want to be, because of these other things.
You're representing many women, and this is where people say feminism is a scam. Because we wanted to go to work, and now we're like, I just want to stay at home with my baby, actually.
Exactly.
So I'm listening to you, and this is the new wave that we're entering into. Where many women are saying, Aibu, Kanti, what was
there was something to this being a stay-at-home.
But this is the part where we bring the whole...
No, I actually feel like this has to be said.
Because we have to talk about autonomy. There's still a benefit to it, because this is the autonomy that we were fighting for. Not to say that we want to go to work. We want the autonomy not to go to work.
We have the choice not to. That's true.
The fight is that. The fight wasn't to go to work. You get what I'm saying?
Autonomy,
but now, unfortunately, since they've discovered you can go to work... now the economy is built in
because-
such a way that you don't have the option but to go to work.
And there are many guys who say stuff like, "Oh no, I don't want a housewife.
Yes.
I need another income."
Yes.
What I would do for a housewife, guys.
Yes.
Yo, I'm not even lying. I'm
can
being
just-
legit.
Yeah, I can just imagine the mental clarity, because when I go to work, and this is not to say I look down upon the role of a housewife,
Yeah.
but I would have one less stressor. When I go to work, I'm thinking, my baby, I must leave her with food, I must leave her with this. With the work gone, like, I can just focus on that and myself, because babies are not as demanding as we say, especially as they get
That's
older.
absolutely true.
As we get older, I used to hate when people say it gets better, but it genuinely does.
It does.
It
Yes,
really
it
does
does.
get better.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah,
I'm
like-
listening to you guys reflecting on kids, and I'm thinking, nobody can stop me.
Yes, I'm
No,
going
Shem,
there.
go there.
No,
Go
go
there,
there.
go
It's
there.
a wonderful experience.
You know what? Ne, I think one thing Ubonga is actually pointing out is the fact that because of everything else,
Yes.
right? Like, even guys, you know, one thing that's annoying me, ne, is how my health is deteriorating. Like, I'm just looking at myself and I'm like, I used to climb trees. I used to run in bushes. I used to, like, the things I just didn't have to think about. Like, and now I have to think about, like, even just bending, kneeling down for some time. By the time I get up, my head is like, hey, I need to sit down. But, dude.
What's up with that?
Dude.
What's up with your body ring after kneeling for a long
Hi,
time? Mine too.
hi, exactly.
A doctor explain to us what's happening. Why am I spinning? Why
Explain
is
in
my
the
head,
comments.
why is my head rising? Yeah, just from small kneeling.
Yeah, and I feel like, Bonga, you're really pointing out how our heart's desire is actually, guys, I'm a dad. Like, guys, I don't even want to lie. I'm such a dad. Like, I want to have, and it's one of the other reasons why I was annoyed at Ursula when my daughter was about to be born. She's like, you're a girl, dad. I'm like, I want to also have a boy so I can teach him to be the way that I am.
Oh, given and we need more of you in this world.
You know
That
what I
would be
mean?
great.
Yeah,
What to
yeah.
Ursula, what I am kissing you with.
And as peace, I was right.
You
You're a
were
girl,
ashamed.
Dad.
I was so annoyed.
I didn't know that.
Hey, I was so annoyed. Actually, I was annoyed even when Nessa did the gender reveal. I thought of Ursula, I'm like,
She won.
Can I just say though, I'm a baby whisperer. Like, I think 9 times out of 10, I look at a pregnant person and I can guess the gender. I'm really good at it. I'm
That's
really good
interesting.
at it. So I feel like I talk to babies though they talk to me. Like, I just, you must catch that eye roll on camera.
I saw it.
You must
I must zoom into it.
So my reflection would be, do we have time for it? Can you show me?
We do.
Okay, my reflection is quick, it's short. It's a quote that says, I think I've done this reflection before, but it hit me again. You can't protect yourself from happiness without protecting yourself from sadness. Have I done this reflection before?
No.
Yeah. So basically, like, happiness comes
I was
with
nodding
a
at
risk.
the...
Yes.
Yeah.
Happiness comes with a risk, guys.
It does.
You know, so think of starting a business, quitting your job, you know, starting a relationship. It's a risk that you take. You know, you take a risk on your career, you take a risk on your family, you take a risk on starting a life with someone, you know, and you can't protect yourself from getting hurt without protecting yourself from the happiness.
Absolutely.
Because protecting yourself from sadness means not starting a business and staying in your 9 to 5. It means, I don't like it when we paint business and 9 to 5 versus the one has
No, but
happiness.
let's say someone does have the desire to start a
a
business,
desire to do something
Yeah.
and to think out of the box and to start something or whatever, to start a hobby. Maybe your hobby, you think of starting rock climbing and you want to protect yourself from falling and hurting yourself. So you're protecting yourself from hurting yourself, but you're also protecting yourself from the happiness of climbing up a rock. Do you get what I'm saying? So there is no happiness outside of you not taking the risk to be sad and to fail and to be disappointed.
Yes.
You know, even when you start dating someone, that gent that's like, because it's a risk. It's a risk for you to trust this person.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
to fall in love and to be like, okay, I'm going to give this person a chance and we're going to try this thing. And if you avoid that, you protect yourself from sadness, but you
But-
also protect yourself from happiness.
Absolutely.
And you hide yourself from it. And what happens, you can get caught up in this trap of living like a very flatlined life because you don't want to experience inflections. And life has inflections. It has ups and it has downs. And if you try to hide yourself and shield yourself from the downs, you will not experience the ups. You experience a flatline life. So, yeah, that's my reflection.
I love it. I love it. I love
I
it.
also love it.
We do have some time for a few comments.
Okay. But as I look for the comments, there's something I've also, since we did a lot of talking around parenting given, I'm trying to not give Asante my fears. So if I see a lizard, I panic, but I try to hide the panic. Because I'm just like, she's not going to be scared of lizards. Because babies generally are not scared of a lot of things.
Exactly.
You know? So if I'm also scared of thunder, but now I've had to be like, calm myself down because I don't want her to inherit that fear of thunder. I thought about that when you're speaking about rock climbing because I'm like, I'd love to do rock climbing, but I'm such a person who's like scared of like falling. Safety is big for me.
Yes, it is.
Safety is huge for me. So I'm just thinking about that, how I don't want to give Asante my fears. You know,
that's
like my mother's scared of rats, and I see how I took that from her.
My mom's scared of snakes, and I took that from her.
Yes.
And just seeing the reaction tells you that
This thing is dangerous.
This is how you react.
Have
to
you
it.
seen how kids, mothers or whatever on social media, they'll find their baby with a rat. I tell her, Mommy, look what I found. Because they don't know that
they should be,
you know,
scared
so
of
I don't
it.
want to give my baby those things. I
that's
just
so
remembered
good.
that. Like
That's
it's an
so
active
good.
thing I'm trying to do.
That's you see, but that's how intentional you are about parenting. It's really nice.
Okay, guys. So on the episode of Getting to Know Ursula, Pete Ore, oh my goodness, I actually stalled watching this because I'm at a very weird place in my career and I'm extremely good at other things. For a moment, I felt like I should leave one for the other. I'm so happy to hear that I can still pursue my career regardless of where I am with it and still be good with my artistic side. A good reminder that human beings are vast. I watched at the right time.
Yeah, I really loved the comments that I got from this episode in my DMs as well. Just people feeling really liberated by being multifaceted, multi-dimensional.
Multi-talented.
Yeah, the word dimensional doesn't need multi, but yes, dimensional, multi-talented, multifaceted. And because it's a struggle that I struggled with, I open up in the episode say I struggled with like, you know, feeling like a phony scientist because you're a voiceover artist and feeling like a phony voiceover artist because you're a scientist. You know what I mean?
And I from what I pick up, I think you're still trying to find
yes, absolutely,
like who you are with all
these things. And
even though it's better now.
Yes, and realizing that it's okay to accept that, you know, I'm multidimensional. And so seeing people come forward with the DMs, I got like some lengthy DMs of people just saying I'm so liberated by this chat. And so many people said, I'm so motivated to go do my master's. I'm like, I ain't say that though.
No, Mara, guys, we need to get those ones. Like a PhD, I'm like, okay, maybe
I
that
absolutely agree
but
with
masters,
you.
guys,
Masters,
let's
yes,
go.
I agree.
Let's go.
I agree.
You typically sound like a black girl bonger. Black
No,
girls
let's
are
go.
overachievers when
Like,
it comes to academics.
I feel embarrassed still talking about
PhD
my
turns
honors.
people into alcoholics. Masters,
Yes.
most people's experience, they'll be like, man,
Wasn't
it
bad."
was difficult, but I managed to
Yeah,
do it.
PhD changes people's lives. I'm good with that. But masters, guys, like
I
I feel
agree.
embarrassed when I you know how I love talking about my cum laude, and now I'm like, girls, getting old. It's getting old. This honors, you've had it for quite a while.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, so
I
like,
get
guys,
you.
I feel
get
like
you.
I am also pro masters. I'm gonna leave it with this one final comment, and I'm just gonna talk about the type of audience we have. Like, I get like so taken aback by just the awesome community we have, and this speaks to that. I unfortunately didn't catch their name, but it's the topic on legalizing sex work. I loved the episode. I love everyone on TCC. You have helped me think deep about so many things, and you have sparked so many debates within myself. I also love how kindness comes through in everyone, no matter how difficult the topic is. I mean, I didn't have this idea when we created this platform, but to see it become like that, like we have people who are just really open-minded, because that's how all of us are here.
Absolutely, yeah.
We're willing to hear each other out, have different opinions on things, and just seeing, which there are a lot of people who are like this. People speak about how you've shifted my thinking, and I think we just have an amazing audience, amazing group of people.
And also like attracts like, because I feel like the audience we are attracting is very similar to us in you know, allowing for freedom of speech, but in a responsible way. I struggled a little bit with the episode when shooting it. You guys know this. We had a chat afterwards because I was like, oh man, I'm somebody personally who doesn't see a world where it's okay for us to, like accept sex workers as just another career, and I'm like,
you're tussling with it.
Yes, I'm tussling with it quite a bit. And you can hear a little bit in my questioning. I'm like, hey, but where does it stop? If you listen to the episode. But some of the comments really liberated me to say, but the conversation should be had because we don't see things the same way.
Yes.
Nonetheless, the conversation should be had. And you as well are allowed to say, hey.
And also, it doesn't mean having a platform as ours, we should only bring people with ideas we relate with. Some ideas will not relate with, and it's okay, and because there's a segment of society that relates to their ideas, and those are thinking about the same questions that we have, So wonderful.
Well, I know you want to shut it down after that one comment, but there's that other comment I put in the group, man.
Okay, let's end it with that one.
Please, guys, because TCC.
I found it.
Did you want it?
Yeah. So Kinna Mao. If you know, in Sesotho, Kinna Mao says, "I'm your mother." That's the person's name on
TikTok.
On TikTok. Kinna Mao says,
wait, this is on the segment of we had Tato on, and Tato was talking about being abused in the workplace.
Yes.
So we cut it short and we put it on TikTok, and then she responds.
Kinna Mao Namoto Utlanyela. I dealt with one and he and his squad ended up leaving. No one will make me uncomfortable at work. I deal with bullies traditional.
Legend.
Guys, when I'm just bored, I go to that comment and I read it and I start laughing because this girl said, "Listen here,"
and even her name.
Her name is like I didn't come here to play with you. I'm
your mama.
And the thing is, because the comments were just like, "God bless you, keep praying about it." Everybody had this like, pray about it.
Yeah.
God will fight your enemy. I don't know.
I will deal with you.
She's the only one who came forward to say, hey.
Not here.
Not here. Not on my watch.
I think that's a good way to wrap it up.
Absolutely. It really is a good way to wrap it up. That was today's episode of The Conversation Capital. We love to hear the comments. We love laughing. We love engaging. I think our reflections need to be much shorter because I really love to engage with the comments that you guys have with us, and so we'll do that. We'll definitely get to that. But today's episode of The Conversation Capital. For now, though, goodbye and God bless.